All right, welcome back to yet another week of fabulous 49er football. For those who are faithful out there, you're starting to see the team develop, and you've got some good feelings about some guys, and you've got some bad feelings about some guys. But what we're going to do is we're going to start clearing it up. Preseason week 2, things are going to go a little faster. Things are going to name certain, there's a lot of names week 1 for us in Crimson and Gold. Week 2, not so many names. And it's actually ordered this week. We're going to go by quarter. And this one goes out to a couple of my family members that are listening to this, and a couple people actually in the NFL circle. I did get a couple responses from some low-level people, so that was nice. And let's see if this thing can keep growing. So, why wait? Because if you were watching when you woke up that day, you knew that somehow, some way, somebody in a 49er jersey was going to plow into Alexis Smith and I mean, for those of you who remember Joe, who remember Steve, Alex just didn't cut it. And so today was an interesting day, and those fans who were chewing and waiting and drooling and biting their fingernails to get a piece of Alex, well, they got what they wanted. Let's start out with the first quarter. Frank Gore, first play from scrimmage, decides to make the entire Chiefs organization rethink their entire defensive strategy and roster. It was a cutback. It was a cutback. Even Kaepernick tried to throw a block. Give him some credit, he did a little bit, but that was, wasn't a block. Don't get excited. Obviously, he's not a blocking quarterback, but I'm sure it's something he'll want to work on. 52 yards and then still, he didn't get any contact. And so for the longest time, so when he finally got to somebody, he hammered him. And it was great to watch Frank run in the open field and then skip off, back to the old thing. I don't know. He's got to be a Men in Black alien. He can't be real. You go great. And then what did we notice? We noticed that LaMichael James' screen was foiled by number 88's horrible non-block. And I know a couple of you remember that game and that play and that moment when you saw a second stringer or an up-and-comer completely blow a screen. Not that LaMichael can really handle one that well. Sky Cap goes deep. And number 14, Chad Hall, a.k.a. the Michael J. Fox of the 49ers, not tall enough to catch it. And I know they said that he overthrew him, but he didn't overthrow him. Now we have Dawson's 42-yarder solid, but no discernible style of ball flight yet for our new kicker. But it definitely went long enough, but I haven't seen it. Usually like the kick goes up and then it veers to one side or it stays straight the whole time. This guy's like a knuckleball kicker, and it's getting really frustrating at this point of the game watching him. Now, special teams still needs work, and that's evident with the kickoff return for 104 yards. Man, we really got to work on that. I thought Osgood was going to come in and really take care of business, but that play really let us know that we got to stay on our toes, because if we let it for 1 second, the guy's name was Quentin Demps, I think, that returned it, and he was untouched. Here we go. LaMichael James, great guy, great return guy, not a running back. I think he should be our punt return guy, and I think that's where he's going to find himself because later on in the rest of the game, I'll explain why. Colin Kaepernick is 5 plays and out. Why fix something that isn't broke? Do I need to say more? Kaepernick knows the system. He's reading right. He's good. He's got rhythm. We got to find a backup just in case he gets hurt. That's what the focus is on, and that was solved in the fourth quarter, but we'll get to that later. McCoy enters. Sack. He did throw a decent ball to AJ on that possession or thereafter, but AJ Jenkins creates 0 separation. So not only stone hands, but now he's stone feet. Now we got a punter comes in. If that was Andy Lee, he shanked another one. It's preseason. Who cares? He's a Pro Bowler. If that wasn't Andy Lee, because I noticed that somebody on special teams was wearing Andy Lee's number, which was number 4. So it's preseason. You got to stay on your toes. Turn it around. This is called an oxymoron, folks. PC, Parrish Cox, puts Alexis in an ankle lock and almost rips his ankle off. Take a look at the picture. I'm screaming. I'm jumping out of my couch going, rip it off. And we get an in the grasp call. What is this, 1982? So now in the grasp is back. That's phenomenal. I hate it. First team defense holds their ground. As always, well job. Tolzien Enders. And I'm really bidding for Tolzien. I think he's going to be phenomenal because I love his 3-step drop fire. He loses the snap. He gets butterflies. The loud crowd affecting Tolzien, and he's almost picked. And Tolzien is losing the job. This is his year. Number 83. How's this? All first quarter, because this is where most of the notes are. Number 83, great work pushing back the guard. 83 had a really, really good pivot and into the offensive backfield. And it really created a lot of pressure. I like the pressure, but great job, number 83. Number 24, that's Nande. Got away with a huge pass interference, but he used his body in between the ref, and we could see it, but the ref couldn't, and that is why they call him a veteran. Asamoah is just great coverage again, moments later, by running a receiver out of bounds. Just cattle herding him out of bounds. Not surprised to see the Asamoah. Chiefs fans way too excited over a preseason game. I understand your team doesn't do that well, but they're kind of good, but whatever. But it's preseason. What was Saturday Night Live thing? Simmer down now. Simmer down. It's not that big of a deal. It's just preseason, okay? But I guess when, for us Niner fans, when you win the NFC and you're in the Super Bowl, I guess, you got a target on you. So we're going to have to deal with that. It's like having a wrestling belt. All of a sudden the target is on you. McCoy, a couple decent runs, but they're only out of necessity, people. Don't get excited like, oh, he can run. No, he can't. He can get scared. The pitter-patter of little feet is all I saw out of those runs. Then, a 55-yard field goal by Phil Dawson, leading us now to call him Cannon Foot. The trajectory was way easier to read as well, and I was really happy with that, and that ended the first quarter. We go into the second quarter, number 33, and the Hamptons, or the Jewel, I don't know, the Jewel thing we're going to have to work on. I think we'll have to go, I don't know, we're still working on it. But he's running like a beast. The Jewel Beast, the Jewel Hampton, see, we're going to have to find something more personal, like a middle name. Running like a beast, and nothing super complicated either. He just bowled people over, much like an Earl Campbell. He's just going at it and going for yards. But he's got to be careful and watch his footwork, because he's got happy feet. No, he's not Steve Martin. Yes, he has happy feet. Number 3 to 14, wow. 21-yard completion. That's Tolzien to Chad Hall. And it was between triple coverage or double coverage. Either way, it was a perfectly placed ball. And then another one to 88. And 88 proves he can catch. Well, that's good because he can't block. Then enter Paris Harrelson, who missed all of last year and tried to make up for it in one preseason game, and he makes up for it most of all by sacking Alexis. And Alex gets put into the ground, and I'm very happy about that. And that's all the notes I had on the second quarter. And we move to the third. Third quarter, 3, 4, 5, sack, off, blitz, fake, and show. No stunt. Scheffler, great read. So obviously I didn't press the shift button. Number 45, big sack off a blitz, fake, and no show. A blitz, fake, and show. It was no stunt. It sure looked like one, and Scheffler got a great read on it, and it changed the whole play. Way to go, Scheffler. Paris Harrelson, again, trying to make this team maybe even get into a first-string position, blocks the punt, but gets tackled by the punter, leading me to say, come on, man. Another 55-yard field goal by Cannon Foot. And he was under pressure, too. I don't know how it even left the backfield. But, wow, Cannon Foot coming through. Now, Dobbs. I know some of you heard his name recently, breaking the substance abuse policy and coming back. Now, he does a straight Vernon Davis, Mike Singletary a la, you know what I mean? And he completely self-implodes. I doubt you'll ever see him again. I think he's packed and gone. I think he's cut. But we'll see. Enter B.J. Daniels. And right now, I'm calling B.J. 5-1. First of all, it's about 5-1 that he's going to get in as the second quarterback. But second of all, he's number 5, and he keeps throwing to number 1. And guess what? We found out who that was. We talked about it last week. Guess what? Talking about him this week. Number 5 to number 1. That looks like a solid connection. They must work together in practice. We go to the fourth quarter, almost like a whip around. Number 33, again, the Hamptons back in effect, just tearing it up. Number 45, mixing it up on the inside. Way to go, number 45. B.J. Daniels, BJD, 5-1. A no-step drop. That's right, folks. Shotgun and plant. Throw. Gives him more time to read, and he's pretty tall. I believe Trent Baalke is the one that drafted him, so you know that this guy means a lot to the team, and he instantly decides he wants to put up for the number 2 job. And against the third stringers, which I'm sure he'll get a chance against the second stringers next week, no step drop, 5-1, goes and gets it. 5-1, and it gets done. TD. See? It worked. I worked it, and then it rhymed at the end. I'm going to say it again. 5-1, and it gets done. TD. I like this connection. I like these guys, and I want to see number 1 as a receiver. Not as tall as I thought, but definitely as scrappy. Number 50 seals it with another sack, comes in unblocked, and there, my friends, is Niners versus Chiefs. Thank you. Thank you so much for the enjoyment, NFL, of watching Alex Smith get destroyed by Parrish Cox, by Paris Harrelson, anybody else that starts with a PA. Not throwing flags, keeping the game going. Preseason is interesting this year, having a great time, and I hope you guys are too. This is Crimson and Gold. My name is K. Ross Covington. Hope you enjoyed week 2, and week 3 promises to be more fun. You guys can leave a comment, ask me any questions, and I will definitely either get the answer off of a 49er Facebook or by visiting 49ers.com. Going to be a great year, guys. Super Bowl in the mix. Have a good one.